Should we always forgive our neighbor, or is it okay to sometimes hold a grudge? She was on the brink of life and death. I'm not going to tell you yet how old she was when a priest asked her. He said, Jesus forgave the good thief on the cross. Do you forgive the man who did this to you? Are you tired of holding grudges? Is it sometimes hard to forgive? Salve Maria. I am Brother Morgan. Don't miss out on any of our content. Subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends and family. Marietta, that was her nickname, Saint Maria Goretti. She's a saint very close to us, born in 1890 in Italy. And at 10 years old, she lost her father, unfortunately. They had recently moved to the Mazzalonis farm, where they became neighbors to the Serenelli family. After her father passed away, Maria Goretti had to take care of the house. She had to take care of her 5 siblings, while her mother was forced to work in the fields. All of us have a motto in life. We have a maxim. What is yours? Hers, we could say, was the following: die before offending God. She was at home sewing by herself, sewing some clothes. Her mother had gone out to tend to the cows. When Alessandri Serenelli came over, he was 18. Maria Goretti was only 11. He was a man full of lust, and he tried to convince at all cost Maria to sin with him. This was his 3rd time trying. Unwilling, she refused. And so what did he do? He dragged her to the kitchen where he locked the door. She didn't quite understand what this man was asking, but she knew that it was very wrong and that it was something very bad, very evil. This time, however, Alessandri brought with him a dagger, 34 centimeters long. And when she refused him this 3rd time, out of love for her virginity, for her purity, in imitation of Our Lady, overcome by his passions, blinded by his evil intentions, he stabbed her, not once, but 14 times. And he left that poor victim lying helplessly on the ground, on the floor of her kitchen, until finally help arrived. When her mother arrived, she fainted upon seeing her. That night, they took her to the Nettuno hospital, where she underwent a 2-hour-long operation without anesthetics. Her heart, her intestines, her lungs, everything had been wounded by this man taken over by his passions. The doctors could do nothing to save her, and they knew that she only had a little time left to live. When her mother came by her side, she said, "Mom, Mother, can I have a little bit of water, please?" "No, I'm sorry, my daughter, but the doctor said that it will do bad for you." When anybody loses a lot of blood, naturally we become very thirsty. She said, "Mother, but not even a drop." "My child, it's necessary that we offer up this sacrifice for Jesus." Saint Maria Goretti never again asked for another drop of water. And when nighttime came, "Marietta, your mother has to go now." "But Mother, you're going to leave me here? You're not going to stay the night with me?" Another sacrifice was asked of Marietta. The last night that she spent here on earth, she was asked to spend it without her mother. She didn't complain. She accepted. She was only 11 years old and 8 months. 11 years and 8 months old. When a priest came over to give her the last sacraments, the last rites, he asked her, "Maria, our Lord Jesus Christ on the cross forgave the good thief. Do you forgive your assassin from the bottom of your heart?" "Oh yes, Father, I forgive him, and I hope that he will be very close to me in heaven," was this young child's response. And every time they asked her the same question, she always gave the same answers. So, when should we forgive? Should we forgive when we are offended? Always. Always forgive. Always forgive. Never, ever hold a grudge. That is what St. Maria Goretti did. She's a perfect example for all of us who sometimes have difficult forgiving. It's normal. We're all human. We're all in original sin. It's not something easy to do. But the answer to the question of should we always forgive is evidently yes, especially when we are offended, when it is our self-love that is wounded. Often, Saint Maria Goretti, she would become delirious while she was at the hospital. And the scene in the kitchen would repeat itself before her eyes over and over. She would say, "No, Alexandre, no, Alexandre. No, God doesn't want it. It's a sin. You'll go to hell, Alexandre. Please, please, don't let Alexandre in." And while she was at the hospital, it was amazing because many people of the town came just to see her. They knew that they wouldn't be able to speak to her. They knew that they wouldn't be able to ask her anything. But her sanctity attracted them. People flocked in numbers just to see this young girl and to witness her death. Such a holy, such a simple, such a pure, such a forgiving death. She died around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She spent almost a day in the hospital. But the greatest miracle happened after her death. Alexandre spent 27 years in jail. He was unrepentant until 1910, 8 years after the incident of the assassination, when he finally had a dream of Maria Goretti. And after this dream, he completely converted. He started changing his behavior. He started repenting, doing penance, doing even good things. And in 1937, he was already out of jail. He went to Maria Goretti's mother and he asked her, "Dona Assunta, will you forgive me for what I did to your daughter?" Dona Assunta told him, "My daughter forgave you. Who am I not to forgive you?" Another miracle. She also forgave Alexandre. In 1950, 48 years after Maria Goretti's death, she was canonized. Who was present? None other than her mother. Her own mother was present at her canonization. One of the very, very few mothers who had the grace to be present to attend the canonization of her daughter. St. Catherine of Siena's mother also witnessed her daughter's canonization. She was actually resurrected by her daughter. St. Catherine of Siena resurrected her mother, and then afterwards she was canonized 3 years after her death. Her mother was still alive, and she also was at her daughter's canonization. But there are very few mothers in history, very, very few, we can probably count them on our hand, who have had this immense grace to witness their daughter's canonization. At St. Maria Goretti's canonization, there was over 500,000 people present there on St. Peter's Square, where she was canonized by Pope Pius XII. St. Maria Goretti teaches us the value of virginity, the value of purity, and in a very special way, the value of forgiveness. How beautiful it is to forgive. How ugly it is not to forgive, to hold a grudge. And how many times do we do so because our self-love is wounded? If St. Maria Goretti was able to forgive her assassin, and her mother also, who are we not to forgive? She is an example of forgiveness. However, there are other saints with other gifts. One of them was able to breathe underwater and had a panther as a pet. Well, kind of. He is known as the new Adam, and he had to fight for his life in the wild Brazilian jungles. Click on this video to learn about Saint José de Anchieta. Salve Maria!
If you like this video, press the like button and leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos.